You've probably heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right? It's one of the most famous books on success ever written, and millions of people have read it thinking it's basically a manual for getting wealthy. But what if that's the biggest misunderstanding of them all? Let's dig into the book's real secret.
So it all boils down to this one question. And honestly, how you answer it completely changes how you see the entire philosophy. Most people think they know the answer, but the book itself, well, it tells a very different story.
The answer, plain and simple, no. This is not a book about money. The title is, frankly, a brilliant piece of marketing, but the real value is hidden. It's about something so much deeper, way more powerful, and a lot more practical than just stacking up cash.
Okay, so if it's not about getting rich, then what in the world is it about? This is where we're going to tear down that myth and get to the book's true promise, which has pretty much nothing to do with your bank account and everything to do with what's going on in your mind.
The real promise here is all about mental conditioning. Think of it as a system for building an inner world so strong, so solid, that it just can't help but shape your outer world. The book's whole argument is that your success or failure is being decided by these quiet little mental habits you might not even know you have.
And this quote, it pretty much sums up the engine of the entire philosophy. Now, this isn't some kind of magic or mysticism. Hill really saw this as psychology. He's saying that a thought isn't just a fleeting idea. When you attach intense feeling to it and you repeat it over and over, it becomes a direct order that your mind gets to work on, making real.
So here's the big takeaway. Achievement is an inside job. First and foremost, before you can grow rich on the outside, you absolutely have to build the machinery on the inside first. So let's break down Hill's blueprint for that inner engine.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. See, Hill says most of us live on the left side of this chart, casual wishing. It's kind of vague, it's comfortable, there's no real emotional punch to it. But a burning desire over on the right, that's a whole different animal. It's specific. It's so emotionally charged that it won't even consider alternatives. It just commands your focus. That difference, he says, explains almost everything.
And the system for building this desire? It's super methodical. First, you need a crystal clear, specific goal. That's your desire. Next, you build an unshakable belief that you can actually achieve it. That's faith. And then you install that belief through daily, intentional mental programming. And that's autosuggestion.
Okay, let's be super clear about what Hill means by faith. He is not talking about blind hope or just wishing really, really hard. For him, faith is a conditioned mental state. It's a belief you literally build brick by repeating it to yourself with real feeling, until it just becomes an automatic part of how you think. And you know what? This is the secret sauce for why it works. You can't just logically convince yourself to be confident. It doesn't work that way. Your subconscious mind, it doesn't really listen to logic. It listens to emotion. Emotion is the signal that actually delivers the message. This is a fundamental rule in his whole system. Okay, so we've got the inner engine built. Now let's talk about what that engine actually powers. It's what Hill believed was the ultimate separator between the people who make it and the people who don't. And it isn't talent. It's not genius. It's the simple but incredibly powerful habit of not quitting.
Just think about that for a second. The big breakthrough doesn't show up when everything's going great. It shows up right after you hit peak discouragement, right at the exact moment where almost everyone else would give up. The moment it feels the absolute worst is often when you're closest to the finish line.
So get this. Persistence isn't some personality trait you're just born with. It's a muscle. You have to train it. And it's not fueled by just gritting your teeth and forcing it with willpower. No, it's supported by that inner engine we just talked about, that super clear desire and that conditioned belief. When those are strong, persistence is just the natural result.
So what weakens that muscle? Well, Hill points his finger at these 6 basic fears. He calls them the saboteurs. And they don't show up looking like scary monsters, right? They show up as procrastination, as excuses, and as all the perfectly logical reasons we tell ourselves for why we shouldn't take action. These are the true enemies of persistence. So how do you fight back against those fears? How do you protect yourself? Well, that's where the mastermind comes in. And it's not what you probably think. It's not about networking or exchanging business cards. It's about mental synergy, about surrounding yourself with people who reinforce your belief and keep you on track when that little voice of doubt starts to creep in. It's so simple, but man, is it profound. Belief just grows faster when it's surrounded by more belief. When you're all alone, doubt can feel huge. But when you're in an environment where other people share that belief, that ambition,
it just gets amplified. Your environment really does shape your endurance.
All right, let's pull all of this together. When you boil the entire book down, you're left with this quiet but seriously powerful advantage you can use in pretty much any part of your life.
If you really look, you see these same themes over and over again. That success starts on the inside and works its way out. That a weak want will get crushed by fear every single time. That what you repeat to yourself becomes your reality. That your environment builds your belief. And that quitting, it's not some deep character flaw, it's just a habit, and habits can be broken.
So here it is, the big secret. Think and Grow Rich, it's not a financial guide. It is a training manual for mental endurance. It's about building the inner strength to just outlast uncertainty, to outlast delays, and to outlast doubt.
And really, that's the final promise of the whole thing. It's not about being the smartest or the fastest or the most talented person in the room. It's about your ability to endure longer than the voice of doubt, both the one in your head and the ones outside. The win goes to whoever endures.
And that right there, that's the real secret of the book. The path to doing anything great isn't designed for everyone to finish. Most people will stop. They'll stop when it gets hard or when they feel discouraged or when the results don't come fast enough. And that simple, kind of brutal fact is your single greatest advantage.